So Pokemon was good.
It was the greatest movie ever made.
We're going to do... if you forgot to ask for your packs or they didn't offer them to you, we're sorry. But you can get them on eBay for less than $3 right now, right there. Oh, I pulled it right up. Look at Movie Magic. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting real good at this.
I think so. That's my only trick, though.
Yeah.
Unless you want to see some of my other tabs that are open.
No, that's
There's so many
video.
tabs.
That's a different video.
You know
We're
what?
done. Nope,
Watch
nope.
this. Watch this.
Okay.
Okay. Now I don't have any tabs open. Just this one. I'm focusing on what's important, and I haven't been wasting my time on Pornhub.
You sound like an adult. Almost.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like one of our neighbors just fell on their ass.
It's probably the fucking homeless woman that was...
There's the homeless person who lives upstairs, apparently, in the empty space that used to be the roof.
I swore this is a kid's movie.
So, Detective Pikachu was a pretty good movie.
Detective Pikachu was the greatest movie ever made. Hands down. Don't waste your time. Don't waste 3 hours going to see Avengers. Don't waste 3 hours watching the Game of Thrones finale. Just go see Detective Pikachu.
Game of Thrones? I thought that ended like years ago. They got I know they rebooted it with like the Hobbit movies.
Obviously, you don't listen to Game of Thrones. You don't fucking listen to...
I don't listen. Yeah, no, I didn't know it was a podcast, my dude.
You don't listen to the podcast Game of Bones like I do.
That's called Cumtown?
I listen to a lot of that.
But no, they did end Game of Thrones. Like I know they did more, like the Hobbit movies.
It's the last season.
Where like they went into the desolation of Smaug.
Yeah, because it's all very similar concept.
I don't know how Bilbo ended up on like a giant throne made of swords though, from past Hobbits. So Detective Pikachu was pretty good. It was really good.
Just do like a cut, like a take cut. Do you wanna bring us in and just explain what we did?
Let's start with the bad.
There is nothing bad about the movie.
There were two things that were bad. All right, the villain plot was a little dumb. It was kind of dumb.
I mean, in the same sense that they're all kind of dumb.
Well, why is it that he puts his consciousness into Mewtwo and it's on a little helmet, little crown,
and then he just leaves his body there?
We have spoilers, by the way. There are spoilers here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there are a good amount of spoilers. Like this fella right here is in the movie, in his cute little chibi form, and he flies around, being a dick.
He always flies.
All of these fellas are in the movie.
Man, this is going so great. Yeah, I don't even have to worry about it being good because it's not like the Pokemon Sun and Moon fucking thing was good. So just
first few videos don't matter.
They don't matter. Don't watch.
Just like the first few fans matter the most. It's an inverse property. Like if there are 3 people who watch this shit, they matter so much. Because they'll show somebody else. These 2 fucking assholes.
Thousands of viewers that Chance has.
I've gotten a few thousand on occasion on some things.
BDC.
I took apart a mouse, a trackball once, and I got like
it doesn't matter.
1,500 or so people that watched
it's
that.
Inherently bad.
Yeah.
So Pokemon
Detective Pikachu is good. I really fucking enjoyed it. The things that were weird are spoilers. That would be Mewtwo's mouth.
What's up, folks? We're reviewing Detective Pikachu. We just saw it in theaters. We have spoilers. If you don't like it, stay tuned. Because
we're going to max out the microphone.
By clapping. Stay tuned because we want to spoil this movie for you.
We're going to destroy it. We're going to make everything you love our own property.
Okay, go off. Go off. You want to start with what you think is bad?
The things I thought were bad. Okay, I'll say the things I thought were going to be bad were actually good. Mr. Mime was creepy in all of the trailers, but was actually kind of adorable in practice. By the time he made it there, the little subtle fur they had on him's gone. Looks like they made slight tweaks to it. They Sonic'd away, like he had a layer of fur on his
Did he?
face. Yeah,
I thought
the
it was all
trailers.
just wrinkles.
in the trailers.
I'll have to
He
go
had
back and watch.
wrinkles?
Yeah, I thought
He
it was
didn't
wrinkles.
in the movie.
I thought it was like wrinkles or something. Winkles.
There was something creepy about him. You know what? Nah, fuck it. Yeah,
Doesn't
okay.
matter. We're not good.
He was creepy in the first few trailers that brought him out, and then not so much. So was Licky Tongue. Licky Tongue looked a little creepy.
Look at Tony.
And then
Did look like a monster.
And then when they brought him into in the movie, he was fine. He didn't look creepy at all.
See,
He did creepy things, but he wasn't.
Like the weird thing is like it did take me a minute to get used to the fact that it was all it was like just all CG for the most part.
Yeah.
And like that does take like a little bit getting used to because
It's immersion.
Yeah, the immersion to it is like you just need to accept it. But like once it was like 5 minutes in, I was good to go.
Yeah. Once it got to the point where like Pikachu had gotten wet and you could see his fur from when they got out of the river, his fur looked adorable as he was dying, and he doesn't die. But like when they had him, he's sort of just breathing, barely holding on. His fur was adorable. He looked cuter than he had in any other scene.
They did put like a lot of effort into this movie, like the Charizard, like the damaged skin and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that was badass.
I kind of wish they'd kept a more classic look to Charizard. I didn't like the blatant scales. He could have had softer looking scales, basically.
I think the scales were cool.
They were cool, but it didn't. Not my Charizard. Make Pokemon great again.
Look, you got all these Charizards. They have all these hideous scales.
We will not. No more. Never.
You brought it up. You brought those words up. Those cursed words.
We don't have enough. We don't have enough Cheetos in this room to do Trump impressions.
Oh my god. Yeah, but like I thought all the designs of the Pokemon were really sweet. Like I was really psyched about like Sneasel, like the Weevil. Like Weevil is one of my favorite Pokemon to use, and like the Sneasels that were all over that movie were just killing it.
It's funny you mentioned that because I didn't notice a single goddamn Sneasel.
And when you go back and watch the movie again, you're gonna be like, how did I not notice this? They are literally everywhere. It's like it's like the top 3 Pokemon you see: Charmander, Bulbasaur, or
Pidgeotto.
Charmander, Squirtle, Sneasel.
It was a Pidgeotto. Like
There were a lot of Pidgeots.
Yeah.
Or however you say it. Oh.
And like there were in the beginning you couldn't see it. They were just walking by in a pack. Were those Bidoof?
Bidoof? Or that?
I think that might be Bidoof.
Yeah. What scene? Are you talking? Was
Early
it like a nature scene?
Early, yeah. And there were just a bunch of them walking by, crossing along. They were blurry, and some of the like the Pokemon models were blurry, and I think that was a design choice because it cost less. Like I'm betting they were unfinished models, and they still looked a little CG, sort of like Play-Doh, kind of looking how CG does, and they put a blur over them. If you go back and watch it again, you'll notice it. There are Pokemon that are like out of focus in the screen on purpose because I don't think their CGI models were done.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to keep the focus, like, you got to have a sense of mise en scene. Okay? You got to know what to focus on and where to draw people's attention.
Kinda, but in that respect, it was kind of like, I can't draw hands, so I'm just going to hold everybody holding a soda cup like this. Like,
Dude, I mean, say what you want. It works.
It did work.
It works every time.
I noticed it happening, and I didn't mind it.
Okay.
But I'm just calling it out. It's a thing I saw that some people are going to dislike. They deliberately blurred some effects on purpose, deliberately. More synonyms to on purpose, please.
Anyways. I mean, if you don't like that, you won't like Endgame.
I haven't seen Endgame yet. Please comment all the spoilers, because they'll come directly to my email. Print it out.
Someone just takes the time to copy the entire script and just posts it.
Well, I won't be able to see the entire script. It's a comment.
You'll start reading it, and then you'll realize it's a spoiler.
And then I'll have to click the read more button.
Yeah, you're going to click the read more to
after
see
the
everything
50
you
characters. I didn't like Okay, things I didn't like. The blurring a little bit. I did, and the Charizard skin I didn't like a little bit. And these are such minute details, but the one thing I really didn't like was that the villain plot was a little dumb. He has this little crown that he wears that enables him to transfer his consciousness to Mewtwo, but once that happens, Mewtwo can just smash people together so their human form disappears entirely. Like an entire body just goes into a Pokemon. That was a little. I had to suspend my disbelief
Mm-hmm.
because it made no sense for three different things to happen in three different ways, which is the melding of human and Pokemon together, the mind-only transfer through technology to Mewtwo in the first place, and then the keeping an injured person inside of himself.
Yeah, I think like the I think the weird part about that for me is like, why didn't he just instantly meld himself with Mewtwo? Like, once he was in control of Mewtwo, why didn't he just make Mewtwo zoop his person into him, and then I yeah, pretty much that's it. Like, it's a little bit of a plot hole,
Yeah,
to say the least. I mean, maybe
it's definitely like a Spy Kids level villain.
Yeah,
Like Spy Kids, the movie is they're sort of dumb when it comes to villain subplots. It was one of those in there. It was still fucking cool. It was just a little dumb.
Yeah, you can always like write it off as just like, oh, but he needs the head neural thing to control Mewtwo, and if he's not wearing that, he doesn't have control of Mewtwo anymore.
Yeah.
There's always like some excuse you can make, but the point is, it's just like a weird kind of.
Yeah, it's not as weird as the voices.
Mewtwo's voice.
Mewtwo's voice and then Mewtwo's other voice. I didn't like that shit. It was real.
What do you mean? Like when the dude is.
Yeah. When it had the guy's
becomes
voice.
Okay. And then
it just melded them together. I didn't like Mewtwo's voice in general.
Yeah, it was a little.
It was a chorused, affected voice with like a ton of FX running on it.
They had to make him seem like super legendary.
Meanwhile, Mewtwo's voice in the original animated movie, at least his English one, I didn't watch it in Japanese.
I did remember that one.
He had a really cool voice.
Yeah, that was fine.
Yeah.
I wonder if they could have brought him back.
It was just a dude.
Yeah, just a voiceover.
I mean, if the dude who did the original theme song for the series could come back and desperately cling to fame and re-release for the 20-year anniversary that happened a few years ago, he went and redid the whole song in a brand new studio, and he still sounds like a 12-year-old boy. He wasn't at the time, and he still is not, but he does have a 12-year-old boy's voice when he's singing the theme song in general.
Your words, not mine.
Well, you'll look it up, and you'll be like, wow. And then...
I didn't even know that they released the song.
Yeah, he's in his sound studio and he's just going over. He's doing the song all over again.
That's pretty cool.
All into it. He's totally having fun with it. He's going freaking ham, which is great. It's great to see. You know, but I had forgotten that there was a person that sang that.
Yeah.
You know, there's just a disconnect. I'm like, oh, that's Ash Ketchum singing that song. Like,
it's not Ash Ketchum.
I know it's not. But like,
Ash Ketchum is like a chick, isn't she?
Child me is just like, oh, well, that you know, I guess that could be Ash. It sounds like a 10-year-old boy. You know, maybe that's his singing voice, because you never hear Ash sing. Except for the intro. I
never thought that was Ash. I think you were just a dumb kid. Sorry.
I was a pretty dumb kid.
I never put that rope together. Like, I never tied that knot.
I maxed out the hours in my Pokemon Blue. And then I'm like, oh, wow, I got all the way to 255 hours and 55 minutes. Let's start a new file.
That still doesn't explain why you thought Ash was singing the Pokemon theme song.
Because it sounded so much like a little boy.
So you're just like, any boy that's singing it must be Ash Ketchum. Yeah, I mean... Maybe, I mean, you know, you gotta make connections somewhere.
I didn't like Mewtwo's mouth. They made his teeth real weird. Like everyone's talking about the Sonic model being funny to look at in the mouth. Meanwhile, Mewtwo's mouth is out there like.
I mean, if you turn around, you got a few Mewtwo.
I have, yeah. There's Mewtwo
Don't
here.
against Chibi. Look at
All
that.
of his mouths are like closed. He's very thin-lipped, but he's not like Close Encounters of the Third Kind looking. He does look a bit like an alien, and it's clear they drew some
inspiration.
Yeah, from the typical gray alien, but he looked a little too gray. His skin was translucent.
Yeah,
and
you know what I think it was? You know what I think it was? You can really see it right there. The little snout part.
Yeah.
They made his mouth more mouthy and less snouty.
Gen 1 Mewtwo did not have the little tiny nose thing. Red, blue Mewtwo. It just didn't. Let's see if I can find a picture of him. I'll pull him right up with my handy-dandy computer. Gen 1 Mewtwo did not have this snout. Why does Google image search open up YouTube?
Yikes.
That should never happen.
That's
Why?
A hard cut.
Why would Google image search open up a freaking YouTube video?
Well, you did click visit and not like.
Open image in new tab. Gen 1 Mewtwo for your viewing pleasure. Zoom in slightly. No, it's just staying in. Bug it. All right. He doesn't have the snout. He has sort of like a dumb face.
No, I mean, I feel like in the movie they gave him more of like a flatter face. And I feel like it looks more snouty.
Yeah.
We snout here.
And
as the kids say.
Pretty much. I didn't like his mouth in the movie. All right, so Detective Pikachu, Mewtwo. And it's going to show us directly the cards. They made him too much like an alien person.
There is a little bit of snout there. Yeah, there's tons of snout there.
His skin is real. It's unpleasant to look upon.
I didn't care about the skin. I mean, he is supposed to be like this weird creature that was created in a laboratory, so.
Yeah, but he's also this deified being in the movie. Like that's how powerful he is. He was. Too creepy looking.
Look at the holes in the nose.
It's the eyes also. They made the eyes super creepy.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's creepy, dude. I think you're just weird.
They went too alien with it. They went too alien.
Yeah, the circular nose holes, I guess is pretty significant.
So, Mew is supposed to be a cat. Because the original Japanese word was Mayu, which is how.
Like a pretty weird cat to me.
He's a super weird cat. Mew is a kitty cat though. Little flying little alien space cat. And Mewtwo is something made from him. It. And this Mewtwo misses the mark for me. He's a little creepy. He was a little too creepy. Mewtwo's supposed to be scary in the sense that he's like powerful, and you're scared to be near him because he'll just destroy you.
Yeah, I mean, in the movie, he like the character occupies this like weird space between like you look at him as like something evil or like I guess because of the power thing, you look at it as something like an evil malignant force, but then
malevolence.
Then it kind of he kind of occupies this weird space of not good, not bad.
Well, they didn't have to take that same occupying the whatever space into the uncanny valley with how he also looks. And I love Mewtwo. I grinded the hell out of Pokemon Red and Blue, and I got all the way to the end of the games to collect all 6 Mewtwo's to put them all in my party, and I did it all legitimately. And I had a team of 6 Mewtwo's because I liked them. I'm wearing a Mewtwo shirt that this fella right here got me. And
which is the same place I got my Cerulean University.
A little Blastoise on the front.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you're wrong. But
His
what else is new?
mouth was more creepy, and I don't feel like digging for a picture of it. But his teeth were very Sonic version 1.0. Oh, he had human teeth. He had a full rack.
Yo, dog, I don't remember.
Woo! Go and bring it up. He had a full rack of creepy teeth when he spoke. Specifically when he spoke. Look at all these. I don't have safe search on. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to continue searching. So I don't know what fan art y'all have come up with at this point. That involves nudity and Mewtwo.
I don't think he looks that. Wow. I mean, the Bulbasaur. Oh my god, that's funny.
That's a. Oh my god, let me see some damn Mewtwo teeth. That's all I want to see. There are so few pictures of it out right now because it's all based on the trailer, and he didn't talk in any of the trailers. In the actual movie, his teeth are creepier than Sonic's. Version 1.0 Sonic. They're creepy looking.
I mean,
they're creepy looking.
I don't know what to say.
I wish I could just show you right now, my friend, but we will have to wait until a pirated, cammed copy of the game video comes out, and somebody on their nice little Samsung or LG phone will have to capture that because iPhone cameras ain't shit. But yeah, so those are the things I didn't like. That's it. Everything else about the movie was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Literally the best movie ever made. The best movie ever.
It was so good. What was your favorite part, Joe?
It made me so happy. I mean, I hate to say it because it's such a corny reason, but like the way that they let Ryan Reynolds be, like, they let him be himself in a way that still kept it. Like, the movie was PG, but, you know.
He had some lines in there.
There's plenty of lines that the big boys, like myself, can appreciate.
Sleeping alone at night was my favorite part of the movie. Yeah.
I can't believe I'm inviting someone over to my room. I'm not that type of Pokemon, I swear.
Ryan Reynolds got to be Ryan Reynolds. And I think if there's one thing Ryan Reynolds has done at this point, it's that when we let him be himself, he can make anything good. Mm-hmm. He even made Green Lantern watchable. As silly as that movie was. as ill-conceived as it was, Ryan Reynolds' presence in it made that movie watchable. Yeah,
I guess there are teeth. You can see it in that one.
Oh, what, the red one?
Yeah.
Let's turn it back on.
Sorry, I'm going back and forth.
That's like, you can see a little of them there.
I did not notice them, like, to the extent that you notice all of the bad features about Sonic.
I don't know why. I mean, Mew doesn't have teeth. I'm pretty sure of that. And Mewtwo's teeth are ghastly. You can sort of see them here, but I'll tell you, they're full. They're full teeth, and they're a little wrong looking.
Yeah, they may have.
It's like they took a human's mouth and just squished it down into like little Mewtwo tiny triangular mouth shape.
They may have anthropomorphized him a little bit too much.
Furries rejoice.
Movie was so good.
It was a really good movie. It was.
Oh my god, so many funny parts that I literally can't even remember.
Bottom line is, go see the damn movie. In all of the parallel universes that exist,
I don't know.
We are in some of the few. Most likely, there can't be too many more universes where this. If you believe in multiverse, if it's real, then this has to be one of not very many, a very small percentage of universes that have access to this. Number one, that Pokemon exists, that Ryan Reynolds exists in the way that he exists.
Okay, so...
And that he was Deadpool, and then even after he was Deadpool, rated R as anything can be rated R, they let him be the voice of Pikachu for, what was it PG?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a PG movie. That's it.
Okay, so I feel like
Rejoice.
I'm just not used to talking about a movie after I've seen it because like I'm used to like being like, oh, you should go see it on your own. But like the way the movie, all right. So we said there's gonna be spoilers. Let's spoil this thing.
YouTube.
Let's spoil this thing.
Hashtag.
Like the movie opens up with this Cubone scene, and it is when I knew that the movie was gonna be good. It's when I knew I was gonna enjoy the
Because of the
movie.
dialogue.
Because of the dialogue.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He's like, fire type isn't your type. Water type's not your type. And then the dude's like, lonely type. That's your type. And it's just Cubone crying out in the field. He's like, it's the perfect Pokemon for you. And it's just cuts to the Cubone tearing in the field.
Was his dad character dead at this point in the movie? Like, did you know?
It opens.
So it's like, haha, your dad's dead. Go cry about it.
No.
I too relate to having a parent.
He didn't know his dad was dead
okay.
at that time, but he hadn't spoke to his dad.
But he knew his mom was dead.
He knew his mom was dead.
Okay, so
no parents.
So young.
Real relatable between us.
Young Ash Ketchum 2.0 walks over to Cubone and says, "I know what it's like to basically have a dead parent." And Cubone's like, "The hell did you just say to me?" And goes ape on him. It's great.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. He didn't choose me. Pokemon has to choose. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Go see the damn movie.
So we got the opening scene, and he finds out his dad's dead. He goes to the office. And that on his way to the office, he like the way they bring you into Rhyme City, and then there's just Pokemon everywhere. And there's like new gen, old gen. It's great. It's so good.
They had a good mix.
They had a perfect mix.
One of the things I was disappointed is that they didn't have like the larger Pokemon in general. You couldn't see any of the larger ones.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see. Well, I mean, they did like those huge, the huge mutation Pokemon,
Yeah.
but you couldn't like they didn't have any like a massive Pokemon like an Onyx or something like that.
They had a Gyarados.
They had a Gyarados for.
But I guess they weren't in any mountainous regions.
Yeah.
Which is where you'd expect to see your Onyx, your
Yeah.
Rhydon. I would have loved to see Kangaskhan even.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty cool.
Or like, they could have added some Butterfrees into like the outdoor scenes or something like that.
Yeah. They reused some assets, but it's fine. I think I have a minuscule idea of the scope of how much work went into animating one thing.
I thought the Tricos were really cool, and I didn't even like Tricos.
There were a few of them.
Yeah, there are a few Tricos out there.
You couldn't see them like holding on or biting on a little corncob pipe or whatever the hell they have. It's far-fetched sprig.
Yeah. And the voice for the Trico wasn't like jarring or anything. I thought it was kind of.
It wasn't jarring, was it?
No, it wasn't.
What were the chances of that?
Very slim.
I like that.
What was your impression of? Okay, so he gets off the train. He's in Rhyme City, and then he goes to meet the detective. What was your impression with that scene?
It was right. It was done correctly, because
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of apprehension in it, and if you're not looking at it from the perspective of someone who's being told nice things about themselves from someone's person that they spent more time with than you as their child, then I could see, if you don't understand the uniqueness, the complexity of that situation, it would just seem like, wow, he didn't really know how to do this scene, but no, he did. Yeah, it was played really well.
Yeah.
The character who played the sergeant, I don't understand what the hell he was doing.
What do you mean?
They didn't make good use of his character at all.
Oh, yeah.
He should have shown up more in that movie.
Yeah, like originally, like I suspected that he was going to be like an evil, like haha, I've been working with the evil guys kind of character, but he like didn't have any of that quality. He was just like
come back.
Yeah, he was like, I mean, he was just like a value neutral character because, like, he didn't like hurt or benefit the main character in any significant way. Like he showed him the footage, but he like showed him the footage of his dad dying when he came upon this like conspiracy, but then it wasn't like it wasn't like he was part of the plot, you know?
Yeah.
He's just like a cop. He didn't really do anything. He knew his dad, and you know, he said nice things about his dad.
I would have loved, because that actor is really good. He's been in a ton of things, and to see him underutilized that much, he should have been there when chaos was erupting. That would have been a great time to bring him in.
Into a snowball.
Yeah, that's the only time you got to see him again. So,
Yeah.
oh, I thought you were going to do something here. I thought your awesome, this awesome actor who's been in so many different things and played them all very well. Just the next time you see him, the last time you see him, he gets turned into his annoying, awful dog Pokemon. Sorry to fans of Snubbull, I hate him.
Yeah, well, you have the wrong opinion all the time. So.
Snubbull ain't one of them.
That's true. So, meets the detective. He finds his dad's house, apartment. Then you're introduced to the woman character.
His apartment looked like trash from the outside, but it was nice inside.
It didn't look that bad.
The building looked rough.
No, it looked like a normal building. Maybe I just have been living in the city too long.
No one else lived in like a slum.
It wasn't a slum. It was just low lighting.
Low lighting was a theme that kept the entire first half of the movie. Kind of on purpose, because they needed Pikachu to be able to sneak around.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a plot device, because there was an overhead lamp when he gets into his own room, and then he goes and turns on this tiny little lamp on the desk.
Before he gets into the room, you meet the female actress, or the female in the story.
You are now an eternal fan of.
Well, yeah, because she's cute. She's cute AF, as the kids say. All right, so a big part of this was like, it was kind of weird because I didn't know how old the people were supposed to be. So I was like, they have jobs, but they look kind of young. And then I saw the card that was like, happy 21st birthday. And I was like, all right, good. So if you have... Because, I mean, like, you know...
They did play her like a little spunky. I likened her like on the way back. I'm like, wait, maybe we should stop talking about this until we get in front of the camera. Yeah. But I likened her to April O'Neil and the Ninja Turtles. And
I just thought of April Ludgate, and I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. From Parks and Recreation.
Ooh, I just thought that.
I mean, I love her too, but.
Oh, I have an undying love for her. But so she's kind of like April O'Neil in the sense that she has spunky hair or a spunky personality. She is a reporter, and she gets gangbanged by ninja reptiles, amphibians.
This is a child's movie.
Well, this is not a child's YouTube channel.
There will be children watching this.
So at one point, Greninjas get free, and they're evil somehow, even though they look pretty normal. They're looking at them saying, hey, these look kind of weird. No, they don't. They look normal. They look... For our first viewing of Greninjas in the movie, they looked pretty normal compared to the other things we've seen. I didn't see anything about them that looked weird.
I mean, maybe they could have looked a little, like, sickly.
They had a little bit of the Mewtwo skin phenomenon going on. Yeah, that's about it. And then the Mewtwo eyes kind of, little sparkles, a little too wide. A little creepy-like, but not really.
Yeah.
Nothing stood out.
Maybe it was something that they saw from their angle and not ours.
What was weird is that they kidnapped young April O'Neil and went exactly one room to the right from where they were.
Well, they were setting a trap.
Yeah. And it was very unsuccessful.
It wasn't a successful trap.
Considering there were 4 of them at least.
They have frog brains.
Well, they're really good in Smash, so I figured in this case they could get a normal human boy with no powers. And they just walk right by Torterras. They're just like, see you.
So we meet the spunky reporter girl. Who's cute. So cute. But she has other qualities that make her interesting.
She was entertaining to watch as an actress also.
Yeah.
She was good. She played the role as I would.
It was like a pretty campy role.
Yep. So, it was a little over the top.
Yeah, it was over the top in a good way. And I did think that the main character kind of played off that like campiness, like the way they had the main character be like, "Okay, who are you?" Like I don't care.
He was very indifferent to almost the entire first half of the movie happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that kind of like played off the campiness of the. Um,
Yeah, it worked. It worked.
It worked.
It might not have. If anything was slightly off of where it was, it wouldn't have worked. But it worked very well.
Gets in. All right, so he gets into the room, and then he meets Pikachu.
They did Pikachu really well.
They did Pikachu really, really well.
Oh man, that's what made me notice like that other Pokemon were sort of blurred out and out of frame a little bit because of how well they did Pikachu. When they pulled Pikachu out of the river and you could see that his fur was wet and like parting in the way that wet hair parts on like a dog or something like that, or like a buzz-cutted human, it was really, really well done. He looked soft and adorable.
Well, I mean the Bulbasaurs that were
Also adorable.
That were part of that scene, they looked pretty well.
You hate Bulbasaur.
I do hate Bulbasaur.
Did you like those?
They looked great.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is just like how they wanted you to focus on certain Pokemon or focus on something in a scene and not necessarily like that you're like upset that they didn't like go into like this detail with these other characters that added nothing to the story, but if they did that, it would distract from the story.
It's more that I'm upset that I noticed it.
Well, you only have yourself to blame.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I understand it as an adult that it was a decision that, hey, we don't have these fully rendered yet, but we'd still like to release the movie. It'll cost this amount of time and money to fully render them. What will it add to the scene? Let's just blur them a little bit. I get that.
I don't think that's how the decision was made.
I think it was, because if you go back and you look at the scene, or what I could think are like, Baidu running
the
by.
Scene, like most of the times, like as an artist, like as an artiste, you make these decisions visually based on what you want people to look at. Like it's entirely intentional. It's not just a practical way to like
I would agree with you,
money.
But I remember it very distinctly. The blur was not just like on a level of the scene. It was not like from here down is blurred or from this point out is blurred. It wasn't something being focused in on. It was actually little circular blobs around the Baidu that were just blurred on that spot, and they were going around, and you could see the slight blur around them. I don't even
remember the Baidu. So
just
I guess
check it out. It's in the
first. Point it out to me
when we go see it a second time, because we're probably going to see this. It's really good, and it's the most minor gripe I could have, but I noticed it, and there's no way that wasn't deliberate. It's 100% deliberate. Because it's just a blur around them, and the grass in front of them is great, and the grass behind them is great, and they're crossing this little ravine, and they're the only blurry part walking by.
Is the grass real or is it fake?
You know, it's real hard to tell. There's pretty good CGI in that movie. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing was CGI. For all we know, the entire movie took place in my apartment, and they just greened my whole walls. And they never left anywhere. It was good CGI.
It was pretty decent.
All right. They should have given everybody packs. If you didn't get them, we're sorry. We'll reiterate that you can obtain them for not a lot of money. Did I lose it? No, it's right here. For like $3 a pack, you can buy. This person has 12 available. Speaking of 12, Growlithe police dogs. Was that believable?
Why does that? What is the thing with 12?
Oh, cops 12.
What is that?
So the phrase is "fuck 12," and that refers to police.
What?
It's real.
What?
Just trust. Just trust. Just
Of
trust.
course, I think like. What? How does it? What?
I don't know the significance either.
No, not the significance. Where does it come from? Like, what is 12?
Origin. Okay. Okay, Google. Why are the police 12? Why cops are called 12? What slang does your community use for the police? There are many different names to refer to police officers, such as pigs, cops, buzzkill, 5-0, and others.
Jakes.
Probably you wonder why are cops called 12. 12 is a slang name whose...
This is a terrible site. It's sites.google.com. No.
This is great content.
This name is used mostly by criminals or people who warn those indulging in crime or illegal activity that police officers are on their way. The term 12 is a police radio call code. Thank you. That's all.
So it's like saying like 187.
Yeah. Except that's about murdering somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, 187 is like... a
Yeah,
code
I
red.
I know 187 because I've listened to rap music before. Okay.
Yeah. And you don't
I've-
stop.
Yeah, I.
Because it's 187 on an undercover cop.
But they don't say 12
Not in that song.
because
don't.
nothing rhymes.
12,
Shell.
hell,
L.
steam valve.
Loses
All right.
the B rhymes.
So, Max Mofo and iDubbbz did something called Pack versus Pack. And, oh man, this could
Shall
suck.
we open?
We're going to open our packs now. We're going to keep them on camera for the most part, so there's no chance. Oh, cool. Of us. Tell me what your first card is that you can see.
Detective Pikachu.
Alright. That's cool. Tell me what your last card is that you can see. Oh, these are all the possibles. Good, good.
Ooh.
Collect all these. Let's go see the movie this many times. And
Oh, cool.
yeah.
I have myself here a Detective Pikachu. Oops.
And there should
I
be an
assume
extra card on the back you can take off.
Official merchandise.
Yeah, you can take that off. Alright, so yeah, I also have Detective Pikachu. And bring it up to the camera.
Yeah, it's blurred.
Cheers. Alright, what's your next card?
Mine is a Jigglypuff.
Mine's a Bulbasaur.
Psychic Jigglypuff.
And
Or is that fairy?
did Jigglypuff make it into the movie? Did you see one?
Yeah, it was on the table. Remember it was during the song?
Oh yeah, it was. All
I don't
right.
think they used the angry scene,
So
which was
we
in
both
the trailer.
we both definitely got a Detective Pikachu. I think that that's got to be mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coffee break.
I thought there were gonna be more. Do we have the same? Because there are two different Detective Pikachus.
No, we got the same one.
Okay.
We got coffee break Pikachu.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Brilliant deduction. There aren't that many. But it's possible to get a GX off of these buys.
Yo,
Oh, I want
Speaking-
them Mewtwo. He's
speaking
really
truth to
looking.
power, I'm gonna go on Pokemon Center and buy so much stuff. Oh, I really like this movie.
They did pretty good. I think the merch, Detective Pikachu.
I'm gonna waste so much money on this stupid stuff.
So, what was it? Night Owl coffee?
Yeah. Isn't it a highlight or something? High roost? Or... I don't
It's
even-
right here
I
in
don't
front of
know.
you. Oh, it just says fresh coffee.
Yeah. But it was like, did you get that Charizard or that Mewtwo? Oh man.
I kind of do want the cute little patch.
The fresh coffee.
Hell yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Oh, I love patches. I don't know why. I think it's like I don't want to be insensitive, but I think like maybe like, you know how like every now and then you think you have autism? Like
Yes, every time I play Minecraft.
like my thing is patches. I love patches. I don't know why. Like, I don't even use them on my clothes anymore. I just love having them. I love looking at them.
And patches are one of my least favorite things. Like whenever Windows Update says you must restart your computer, I want to shoot myself in the
I
brain.
always love getting those and more patches.
Ah, the merch is good. Yeah,
Sun and Moon. They have Sun and Moon advertisements. If they could make a Pokemon game.
What? There's Sun and Moon stuff on here?
Yeah. In the
Oh man, what an awful game.
Yeah, if they could make a Pokemon game with the story like they did for Detective Pikachu.
Oh, that's
I
not for the
would
game.
lose it.
That's for the.
I would lose it.
That's for the series.
It's all the same thing.
That's for the animated series.
It's all the same thing. It's all.
Yeah. Are you getting Sword and Shield, Jar? Are you getting Sword and Shield?
Yeah, of course I am.
What if I told you that they take place in Rhyme City?
They don't.
So one last thing about the movie
they
that
don't
I
have all of
noticed.
them listed.
No?
No, because I have a Jigglypuff.
And the Jigglypuff's not in there?
Yeah.
Neat.
Okay.
Well, actually, you know what? You can see on the bottom of the cards how many there are usually. It should say something out of something. 14 out of 18.
Yeah.
And this is number 1 out of 18 is Bulbasaur. Makes sense.
Sick.
And this is SM190. Aw. Yeah, so the Coffee Break Pikachu has the promo little thing on his bottom. And Detective Pikachu symbol is a magnifying glass with a Pikachu's tail sticking out of it. So one last thing I noticed about the movie. Nintendo is rumoring to put out a smaller version of the Nintendo Switch. And they were using, I think only 2 characters really ever pulled out their cell phones.
Yeah.
The 2 main characters.
Mm-hmm.
But they looked a lot like the Nintendo Switch, but they were smaller, pocket-sized, and had non-removable controllers. They were the same neon blue
they never
and
removed
neon
anything,
orange.
but they never removed like anything off their phones. But they did have the light blue and the red.
And when you could see the phone face up, you could clearly see that it did have what looked like controller pads.
I think so. I didn't get too good of a look at it.
I think it was a sneaky little thing they did. They just threw in a new prototype for the new Switch and just say, hey, pretend these are cell phones. We want to get the word out slowly.
I think it's all part of branding.
Yep.
You know, you want everything to kind of float together.
Either that.
They had Pokemon cards in the movie.
Yep. Just on his table.
Yeah, which was funny.
Which is cute. This is like it is a little throwback to people who are there for nostalgia purposes. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, you remember these? Yeah. Would you want some of them?
Like, they had a poster of the Sinnoh League. Say it 3 times. It'll be true. Sinnoh League, the Johto League, and stuff like that. Like all these like posters that were hanging up on his wall and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And usually in Pokemon, they have like the current console sitting in your room.
Well, maybe they intended to have the Detective Pikachu movie come out later, or the console to come out sooner, and we just saw what the finished product is going to look like when they release the smaller version of the Switch. Or they just didn't want to do any product placement for any cell phone company at all, because how many movies have you seen where it's just Samsung across their phone and it's this close to the camera every time they use it? Maybe they were just anti-product placement.
Did they preview the small Switch yet?
I don't think so. I don't think there's anything for it out there.
I thought I heard something about it the other day, but I could just be wrong.
New Nintendo Switch.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is more Nintendo Switch. There's an XL? I don't think we need an XL.
New Nintendo Switch coming out. You're just gonna scroll past it?
What am I scrolling past, Joe?
The what? The one right there.
Switch 2.0?
Switch 2.0.
That ain't it. That's a fan rendering, if I've ever seen one. That looks wrong.
What looks wrong?
That looks 100% wrong.
Well, it could just be like a...
Nintendo Switch in... Let's see if anyone's on this.
The movie just came out, like...
today.
Last night.
Oh, you're right. I should do this tools option, and then do time past 24 hours. Oh, this is. I just saw the movie and I already feel nostalgia for scenes that are in it.
Yeah.
Anyways, very good movie.
Jellies.
Go see the damn movie.
That's a fast wallpaper that came up. I can feel that in my jellies. That's a good one.
It's right there.
I hate my voice.
You settle down.
I think I hate everything about myself.
You know, nobody would notice it if you didn't point it out on yourself, right?
That's not true.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna
Look
close
up,
it up. Don't remember that.
See if you can find like an image of the phone.
That's what I was looking for.
No, like use like
At the actual word.
Detective Pikachu phone or something like that. Or like maybe an image of what's his name, Justice Smith. The character, like the actor's name.
Well, maybe if I just type in cell phone. People are a little specific like that. Cell. Are there any articles about it? I don't think so.
I think you're just wrong. I think you're just gonna have to accept that the internet has not vindicated you.
Or I'm the first. I'm the very first.
You know what they say about those people?
They're the best.
No,
I am the Samsung Fold of YouTubers. Jar, I am the very first and the greatest, and the only people who know of me are people who can afford me. Everyone
Have
else
you seen
just
that
has
they've been
to...
breaking in half?
The thing about breaking in half, Jar, I wish I were dead. So I'm very much like a Samsung
I'm very
Fold.
much open to that if that's an option.
I want to be broken in half like Randy Savage has me in one part, and El Aso Whitebo from Mad TV has me in the other. I'll have my back broken like so. That's an old reference, and the older the references get, the closer we are to the end of the broadcast.
Older you realize that I am.
Do you have anything you'd like to add at this point, Jar?
Go see the movie. It's great.
Go see the damn movie.
It's the best movie ever made.
You know, open up your Pikachu. Open up your Pikachu piggy banks.
Idiot.
Crack them open like I almost did, and go see the damn movie. Why is it so greasy?
Go see the damn movie. You're gonna have to edit a lot of this down.
Did you put lotion on my Pikachu piggy bank?
No.
Why would
Just
you
that
need lotion on it?
One scene with the blonde got me confused.
Or it got you unconfused. I don't know. Bye!